Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. Morning.
You?
Morning.
It's looking very bright there, Marianne.
Yeah.
The sun's up, is it?
It's now at 9 o'clock here, eh?
Yeah, it's still dark
Yeah.
here. Oh, it's
Yeah.
just starting to get light.
Yeah. Yesterday the sun was shining. Now it's not so nice, but it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice to have changes. We had beautiful sunshine yesterday. We
Yeah.
took the
Yeah.
kids up onto the mountain and they were playing in the snow, building
Oh,
some snowmen. But yeah, really, cold and snowy, but beautiful blue
it's good,
skies and
for your mind and your body when it is so clear, eh? With the
mm,
sun and it's nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Okay. Yeah.
Although it's the opposite when you live somewhere that it's sunny all the time.
Yeah.
Because I've lived a lot, obviously, in Australia and in Malta. And when the clouds come over and it rains, it's like, oh, it's this
Yeah.
refreshing sensation when the rains come down.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But you can go all the way, eh? You can go to the sun, you can go to the rain
Yeah.
when you travel and you work and now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
The only bad weather is the weather that stays the same all the time.
Yeah,
I like change in my weather.
it's nice. Yeah.
All right. Shall we do some moving on this lovely Sunday morning? I'm at my mum's house today. As you can see, the background's a bit different.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I've got an even smaller space to work with, and I forgot my tripod for my phone, so I'm using my laptop camera today, so the quality will be a bit more grainy, but I still have my mic. I did remember my mic, so you'll be able to hear everything that I'm saying. Yeah, so let's get into it. Oh, look! It's the red light district again. It's funny. It's something to do with your camera. It's like when it first turns on, it's all red, and then it just sort of comes in, and now you're a normal color.
The mystery,
Yeah.
the Sunday morning mystery. I don't know, but before it wasn't doing this. It's just that
Yeah.
last two times. I don't know what it is.
That is odd.
My energy, glowing red.
All right. Let's see what we can get up to. In this space. Yeah, that'll be good. All right. Let's do our usual. And then a couple of different things. So let's start moving the spine. So always start off with this one a little bit, a little bit gently. Especially if you're feeling a little bit tight, through the spine, all the muscles down the spine. So the same movement as we always do. So sticking your bum out, pushing your chest forward, bending your spine back as far as you can, curving it back, pulling your elbows back, but pulling your palms back as well, looking up, and then folding everything up into a ball. But start, just a little bit more gently. And then as you feel the heat come into the muscles, start going a little bit further into your range of motion. Hinge forward from the hips. Again, if it's just to there that's comfortable for you, that's okay. If you feel like you can go down to 90 degrees, lovely. And then relax your spine. Hang it down. And then straighten it up. Hang it down. Straighten it up. hang it down, straighten it up, hang it down, roll it up. Open and close again. Same again, sink down to where it's comfortable, either 45 or 90. Relax the spine. This time when you flex the spine, lift your palms out to the sides, squeezing your shoulder blades together, rotating your shoulders externally. Really feel that squeeze. Remember not to lift your shoulders up, push them down and back. And then relax everything down. Do the same again. This time from this position, reach your hands over your head, touch your hands, then keep them up, reach them all the way backwards, touch them behind you, link your fingers, and push them over your head. Relaxing your spine now. And then relax your hands, and roll up. Let's try that one again. Sinking down. Relaxing the spine. Flexing the spine, bringing the hands up. Overhead. Touch the hands. Behind your body. Link your fingers. And then relax your spine. And push your arms over to stretch across the fronts of your shoulders. Probably get a bit of a bicep stretch in there too. Relax and roll up. Open, close. All right, let's get the hips and the does that turn? Oh, it does. Oh, maybe it doesn't. So I'm just going to try and turn that light towards me, give you slightly better lighting, but it felt like it doesn't, it's not meant to turn, possibly. It might turn, but I don't want to snap it off if it doesn't turn. Maybe it needs a screwdriver. Anyway, I want to get the hips really moving today and the ankles. Okay, I want to focus on the hips and ankles today. See if we can, in fact, let's just do a test, just to feel something in your body. Let's see how well you can squat. So you got your toes pointing forwards with your feet about shoulder width apart. Okay, keep your weight on your heels. Sink down. Lean forward as you're sinking down to stop yourself from falling backwards. So put your arms out to the front, push your body forward, and then see how low you can get all the way down without your toes, without your heels lifting up and without your toes opening out. Now, if you can get into this position, just kind of take note of how it feels. Does it feel okay? Or does it feel like there's a lot of tension in my feet if I relax? Like, oh, my feet, maybe my feet want to turn out if I relax. So that means, of course, there's a lot of tension through the outsides of your hips and ankles and so on. Do you feel tension down through here, through your ankles? This kind of thing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to loosen off your hips and ankles. See if you can feel any difference when we do the squat again. So let's first just get the general region a little bit warmer. Okay, let's start by going into a lunge. Moving around as usual. Just wriggle in that lunging position, forward and backwards. Pushing that heel into the floor at the back to stretch the calves. Wake them up, push into the toe, so press forward. Open your hips, close your hips, up and down. Just wriggling around just to bring some general warmth into your legs. Switch sides. The same thing on the other side. Push and receive from that rear leg. Get all your joints down there, moving around. Now I'm on a very hard surface today, so I'm going to give you variations of some of the stretches which don't involve your ankles pushing down into the floor, because if you do these ones, you know, where we put the feet on, just sitting on your feet on the ground, but the top of your ankle here is sort of digging into a hard wooden surface, it's not nice. I don't know if I wouldn't even say, I personally don't think it's healthy for the tendons and that to be squishing in and getting pressed into a very hard surface. So we'll do a few different variations. We will still sit on the floor, but yeah, variations compared to what we've done in the past. All right, so let's just keep the warming up process happening a little bit. So let's try this one again. Get the hips and bum warmed up. Knees forward like so. Take one side, so this elbow down towards the opposite knee, and put your weight over towards that leg as you do it. You're going to sink down, bend your knees as much as you can to bring it down. So I don't want to just do this. See, that's just me leaning over. I mean, I do lean over, but the major movement is coming from squatting, bending the knee down. Okay, and then coming back up. You don't have to go all the way down. Just bend that knee and tilt forward as much as it's comfortable. Maybe you just get halfway to here. If you can, though, touch that knee on the elbow. Lovely. Stand back up. Take the other hand to the rear. So notice how I'm pushing that hand right around to the rear, squeezing that shoulder blade back. So the scapula is pushing into the spine. Okay. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Nicely done. Let's try the same thing with a pivot. I'll face the same direction as you now. So from here, exactly the same thing. You're going to come down like this, but your feet are facing the front wall. We'll call that the north. Okay, that's your north facing starting direction. We're going to take the right foot to the southeast. Okay, so 135 degrees to the right, so that rear corner. You're going to pivot on the balls of your feet. So my standing leg, which will be my right leg in this case, is going to go to there, so that toe is facing all the way to the corner. The rear leg just pivots around to where it feels natural, right? There's not really much room that the rear foot can move once this foot's in place. So you don't have to think about the direction of that rear foot. Just twist it in accordance to what the front foot is. Once my foot has twisted, I've put the heel back on the ground. So my weight is on the heel of the front foot after the pivot. The rear foot, however, stays on the ball of the foot. The weight stays in the front leg. Okay, so there's your pivot. Once you've pivoted, you then do the same movement. Again, maybe just to here, Same, so it's exactly the same movement, or to here. Bring it back up, pivot back to the front. Take it to the other side, ha. Take it down, take it down, take it down, however it's comfortable for you. Bring it back to the front. Pivot, do not go lower than what's comfortable. You don't want to strain anything. Now, if you can, touch that knee on the floor, but don't put any weight on that knee. So twist down, forward, 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 touch the knee, but it's empty. It's just gently touching the floor. So I'm still keeping all the pressure on the feet. It's like I'm going down and resting on my hand, you see? If that's too hard, remember, don't go past. You might still just be doing this version. Just do it to what version is comfortable for you. We have to always show different variations because those of you not as strong currently, you need to do it higher. Those of you who are feeling much stronger, you're much fitter, been training for longer and so on. Well, we don't want you staying up here, do we? We need you to push your bodies a little bit more. So everyone's at a different level. Never be that person in the class who tries to do it the hardest way and ends up damaging your body. Don't let your ego get in the way. Just do it to what's comfortable for you. It's the best way to learn. Of course, don't let that become an excuse to not push yourself. Don't just stay in your comfort zone. But this is a warm-up, remember. Warm-ups are meant to just warm you up. We're not pushing harder, you know. Okay, relax that out. We're now going to, what will we do? Let's crawl forward. Okay, so we're just going to sink down again. This time just slowly crawl your hands forward, like so, into a planking position. Make sure you're not sticking your bum out, so arch your back. Push your bum under. Now bring one foot all the way up to the outside of your palm. Okay, so my foot is turned out at 45 degrees to my right. If it's my right foot that's forward. Really stretching in and opening up that right hip. Lengthening through that back foot. I'm going to point my rear toe so the foot is flat on the ground, and again I'm just moving through that rear hip joint, lengthening through the back leg and sinking through the front leg. Now turn your body towards this bent leg. Okay, so I'm standing here, getting a bit more stretch through this glute, a bit more stretch through the underside of that lower hip. Turn it back to the front. And then just spin it around, so put your weight back up onto your toe of that rear foot, lift up onto the toe of the front foot, and spin your body around to face the other direction. So I'm standing on the ball of the foot of this right leg and straightening out this leg just to gently wake up that hamstring. Again, not super hard pushing into it, just to get the muscle to wake up. I've got the leg straight at the moment. Now I'm going to bend that knee just a little bit, not right up here like this. Just put, maybe 10, 15 degree bend and sink onto it like so, just a little bend. And again, notice how I'm constantly moving. I'm not staying in one position for a warming up stretch. I'm opening everything out. I'm opening to the side. I'm twisting into the front. Okay, now crawl your way forward using your hands on the ground towards the other leg. Open that leg out. So again, my left foot is turned out at 45 degrees from the direction that I'm facing. Pointing my rear toe and lengthening through that rear hip. Turn towards the standing leg, the bent leg rather. Turn it back to the front. Come back up onto your toe. Same as before. Pivot your body around. Stretching into this one. Stretching and moving. Varying whether you're feeling that pull. Bend your knee a little bit. Sink onto it. Come back to a plank position. And for now, I just want you to walk, alternating your feet. Don't worry too much about what your upper body's doing. You're just planting your hands there, just wherever it's comfortable. You don't have to be sort of pushed right back into some kind of downward dog position or something. Just relax your body. The focus here is on the calf muscles in here. So you're pushing your heel down into the ground whilst straightening your knee. You press it down, and then there's a small hold, and then press the other side down, followed by a small hold. And then just walk your hands in, roll your spine up, back to standing. Okay. Standing naturally. You're going to stand up onto your toes, lift your hands to the sides. We've done this one several times before, only this time I'm in a small flat, so I'm hitting the roof, so I'm going to have to bend my hands. But I can still get this feeling of stretching my hands up, just with my arms folded a little bit on the top. Because I'm in a little flat at the moment at my mum's house, so. And then relax down. Scoop it back up, same thing. Stretch, stretch, stretch onto your toes. Really stand up high on your toes. Wriggle yourself around a little bit. Trying to get these ankles warm. Sink back down. Same again. Up, up, up. A little bit of bouncing just back and forth. I want to really build some heat through these areas before we open them up too much, so we can feel this difference of how it feels to squat when our muscles are loose. And if you can feel a difference, well then you know those stretches worked for you, so do those again. If you don't feel a difference and you still feel tight, then obviously something else is tight than what I've covered today. I'm sort of covering the most common things that can cause tightness in a squatting position. Of course, if you already feel loose, then fantastic. Then just doing this is a nice movement, but you're already good, got good mobility for general body health. Okay, we're going to stretch the ankles backwards. So just grab one foot and stretch that ankle. Notice how I'm not focusing on the quadriceps, I'm focusing on the ankle here. So I'm actually pushing my knee a little bit forward and pulling my ankle up, like so. See, in this position, there's only so much pressure I can get onto my ankle, but if I push it down like this, I can get much more stretch over the front of my ankle. Bringing that focus onto the ankle. Fiddle around with which way you're pulling the foot as well. I can pull the foot slightly, sort of like as if my hand would be coming past the outside of my body, or I can pull it from the other side, like as if my left hand is kind of pulling this way past my body. You see? So depending on where your tight spots are, you'll feel a difference, because you're kind of twisting the foot as you're bending it in. So all those muscles down the front side of your leg, down the shin area, getting stretched out. Let's go to the other leg. Just be careful when you put your weight back on it, because your leg's a bit like, oh, that was a funny position, sort of thing. So just be gentle when you put it back down. Other leg, grab that foot. Again, both hands, listen to your own body. Push into that ankle, not the quads, the ankle, the lower leg. Pull it out to the side, pull it across to the other side. See what different sensations you can get through that stretch. And at the same time, you're getting a bit of balance training just by standing on one leg. That's always good for you. Relax that out. Okay, we're going to sit on the floor. So take it down. Take one foot like so. This is a really nice outer hip stretch, mobility movement. So we're going to sit with our front leg here at 90 degrees. So the knee joint is at 90 degrees. If you are on a hard surface like I am, you might find that your ankle, the little, whatever that bit's called, the little bit that sticks out from the side of your ankle, is pressing right into there. It's very uncomfortable. So either just get something, like grab a slipper or something and put it under your foot, or if you have nothing available, you can literally just put your hand underneath there, like so. So if you put your hand sort of under your heel, it doesn't hurt your hand, but it keeps that joint up. But the ideal thing would be if you're not on carpet or you're not on a yoga mat or something like that, just grab a slipper, anything like that, that'll just put a bit of cushioning. That's the only spot where you need cushioning, because everything else that's touching the ground, like your bum's on the ground, there's lots of muscle around that. Your knee is touching the ground, but there's no pressure on it, so that shouldn't be a problem. And then everything else is, palms and rear leg is just relaxed to the rear. So again, there's no pressure on that one. So you should only need a soft thing here at the front. Okay, keep this leg at 90 degrees. Don't let it bend in like this, otherwise you change the stretch. So keep it there by holding it with your other hand. So my right hand is just to the side of my knee, my left palm is behind my heel here. And what I'm going to do from here is, I'm just gently going to lean my body down towards my knee, okay? Then once I get to the point where I can't go any further, or just, where I'm feeling a stretch and it's comfortable, don't push yourself too hard too soon. Then slide your body, so keep it low, slide your body over towards your foot, then come back up, okay? We're going to take an in-breath as we sit up, and then an out-breath as we sink down over that knee, and then slide over towards the head. So you twist as far to that side as you can. So when I go down, I'm twisted over this side, My chest is coming down towards my knee. Then I push with my right palm, pushing into the ground to bring my head towards my foot here. And then I come up, okay? So it's a moving thing. We're not just sitting in one position. Sinking down and back up. Breathing in, breathing out. Again, just to how low, that gives you a really nice stretch. The main stretch is going to be through the glutes and hamstring of this front leg. Breathing in on the way up. Deep breathing out on the way down. Make sure you breathe in and open your body up. And then close it down as you breathe out. Okay, sitting back up, relax for a moment. You're going to do the same thing, but reverse the direction. So you're going to sink down towards the foot this time as you breathe out, and then back to the knee and then up. So exactly the same circle, but reverse direction now. Big in breath and then out breath. In breath. That rear leg, just let it sit wherever it's comfortable. It's the front leg that we're focusing on here. In breath, out breath. If you can get your head to touch your foot, then you know you're really going well. If you can get your head halfway to your foot, that's still pretty decent. You're still above average in terms of your hip mobility. But yeah, if you can get your head to actually touch your foot there, that's pretty good. It's not like super extreme, but that's pretty good mobility. That's kind of like as much mobility as you need for natural living. We don't need to be contortionists. You don't need to be able to bend your legs behind your head and, tie yourself in knots. If you want to do that, go ahead. Nothing wrong with it. I just don't really see the benefit of it. It doesn't seem to be, once you go past a certain point, you don't really get any more benefits from it, from putting your time and effort into that. Of course, if it gives you fulfillment and it's your passion, then that's the benefit you get from it. Getting better at something, making you feel great, that's fantastic. But for me, once I get to a point where I'm like, it sort of takes this much effort. Here's a good little tip for you. It takes this much effort to get to here, okay? Like 90% of the way to something, whether that's strength, flexibility, drumming skills, whatever thing you're learning. To get to that 90% mark takes that much effort. But to go the last 10% takes like 10 times the effort that the whole first part took just to get 10% more. Now, if that really makes you feel like I want to be the best, then do it. Be the best. Myself personally, I'd rather be 90% there. That for me is still fantastic. And then have some time left over to live, to spend time with my children, my wife, go traveling, hike up the mountain, do other things, rather than like, I'm going to be the ultimate Taiji master ever that existed. No, I'd rather be 90% of the way and have a life rather than dedicating 100% of my time to one thing. Just something to think about. Okay. Switching that slipper over to my other foot. We're just doing the exact same thing on the other side now. Okay, so 90 degrees in that front leg. Okay, rear leg just sitting wherever it's comfortable. It could be here, just comfortable. And holding that foot in place. You're going to lean down gently first. Remember, you're not going to get as low yet because that side we got gradually lower. Just sink down over the knee, bring it over to the foot. and breathe in, back up. Sinking it down. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. So if you feel your body's getting longer, muscles lengthening, obviously try to get that movement to get closer down towards your leg. Get your head closer down. Don't forget to breathe. Open your chest up here. Standing up and close it down as you breathe out. Okay, reverse the circle, just chill for a moment, and then take your head down towards your foot. Take it over to the knee, and back up. Over to the foot, over to the knee, and back up. Breathing. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Okay. Okay, let's do a little bit of this one. This is a little bit of a tricky one. You might need something under that foot. This foot should be fine because there's not much pressure on that foot, so you should be okay. I mean, ideally, if you're learning this stuff, it's better to be on a mat. It's just, as I say, I'm down at my mum's at the moment, and I didn't have a mat. Didn't have my phone camera with me. No, I have my phone camera, just not my stand to put it on. So yeah, you might want to put a little something under that foot there. What you're going to do is you're going to face the front, like you're in a sitting position, but take this leg out to the side, like so, stay front on, and then push this down like so. Okay? So we're trying to internally rotate this hip. Okay? So that means we're stretching all these muscles through the side. You should feel it kind of in here. Be careful with this one. You can very easily get a cramp if you're not used to it, so just be ready to push your weight off it and release that cramp if that happens. Just sink down onto, if I, for example, let my body go back, I'm not feeling anything. I've got to bring my body forward into it. And there it is, feeling it in here. I'm feeling that internal rotation happening, like as if I'm trying to do this, lifting this up. But instead of being awkward about it and lifting the foot up over there, I can simply bring the weight into the front, and I'm feeling this stretching through the back of the hip here. So getting some internal rotation happening. So by internally rotating the hip, you're stretching the muscles which externally rotate the hip. So when you go into a squat and your hips want to externally rotate, it means those muscles potentially, it could be other things as well, mind you, but it could be that those muscles are tight. Okay, so by internally rotating, you're doing the reverse direction, so you're stretching those particular muscles. So just find the position. See, move your body around. If I go here, no, nothing really, nothing really. Oh, just there. Okay, that's where I need to be. Feel it out. Figure out where that point is. And you go, oh yeah, that's a tight spot. Feel, acknowledge where that is. That's a little tight spot just in there for me. So another thing you can do is, if you feel that particular tight spot, it may need also some trigger release. So you can grab one of those balls, a nice hard ball, not a tennis ball. A tennis ball is too soft. I mean, okay, if you've never done anything like that before, a tennis ball is probably okay. But for me, a tennis ball is just squishy and it doesn't really do anything. It's like it's a bit relaxing, but you need it to hurt. You need it to feel like a therapist digging their elbow. It's like, yep, that's the spot. That's what it should feel like. So, of course, you can take a ball, lean up against the wall or on the floor or something like that, and dig it into this tight spot in here, like so. You'll feel that all this area around here could very well potentially be tight. Okay, let's try that on the other side. Exactly the same thing. Switch your slippers around. Okay, open like that. And again, just move around till you feel, oh, there it is. That's where it's a bit tight. Self-massage is one of the greatest tools. Okay, if you can learn how to do that with, not necessarily with your palms, it's sometimes a bit difficult. Sometimes you can use your palms in certain areas, but using different tools, because you can really feel where you're tight. You can feel your body better than any therapist. Well, I say that. If you know how to feel your own body, you know it better than a therapist. But if you know nothing about your body and know nothing about the muscles, then a good therapist probably knows your body better than you do. Okay, coming to the front. What you're going to do today now is take your ankle. I think most people should be okay sitting on the floor like that. If you can't just sit on the floor, get something to sit on. Okay, so that might just be a little stool like that. You see, just sit on a stool, grab your foot like that. Oh, this is nice, sitting on a stool to do my Tai Chi today. And what I want you to do is, I want you to get the ankle. Before, when we were standing up, we were bending the ankle this way, so straight down, with a bit of a twist, but it was dominantly straight down. Now I want you to twist the ankle this way. You see, I mean, it's still going to bend that way as well, but I want you to pull it up like that. So basically, sit here, just pick your foot up, and then try to look at the sole of your foot. Look into your soul. Like that, okay? Now, grab it with your palm and twist it. So that foot is you don't have to get it facing up, but towards that direction is going to be stretching. So you're twisting the ankle. So you're stretching the muscles in the side of the ankle. So it's this way, rather than the forward-backward mobility, it's this side mobility, which is it's a much smaller motion on anyone. You obviously don't have as much range of motion in that way of moving the joint, but we still need it to be loose, because having tension through there is what can draw the feet out in the first place. So holding that foot up like so. Pulling it up. You can do this one standing up as well, but it's much easier to get the focus in here if you're not worrying about the balance. Remember, the focus here is on twisting the ankle this way rather than this way. So you're twisting it like that, not this way, yeah? So my palm is on the top side of my foot. I can grab my heel with the other hand and twist through the ankle like so. Again, listen to your own body, don't strain anything. Let's try the other side. Just relax that out. Okay, so taking the other hand, other foot, like so. Twist it, turning it towards you. Grab the thumb around the heel and rotate that ankle. Twist it. Now again, with all this lower leg area, this is just one option, you know, one variation of getting your ankles mobile. Lots of other things you can do and lots of other things you should do if you're one of these people with very, very tight ankles. May actually do a whole separate video just on everything I can think of to get the ankles mobile, because it really is quite a common thing to have very, very tight ankles, and it really limits what you can do. And again, I don't mean just fancy stuff like being able to do the splits or something like that. I mean just basic functions of being able to squat down, for example. Trigger point release, again, is really important with these areas. Okay, relax that one out. This big muscle, not the bone. There's your shin bone here, okay? That's hard, that's bone. You don't want to be smashing into that unless you're doing Muay Thai or something. The muscle to the outside of that down here, it's like if my foot's pointing forward, sort of the 45-degree angle, the muscle that comes down through there. That's where we get really tight down through the side of the leg. It's a very typical place to get tight. So what I want you to do is feel that area down through there. Take a mallet hand, which is like that. So don't make a fist like with your thumb wrapped around the front side. Leave your thumb on the top part of your knuckle and just whack in. Just heavy, not so it's painful or anything, but just kind of a bit of heaviness. You can also just use your heel palm. That works equally as well, whatever feels more comfortable for you. But just kind of relaxing the muscle down through there. And then just pressing in, giving it a good shake out. Again, if you want to get more pressure into these kind of things, you can get special tools. Maybe I'll do Next time I do a class at home, I'll show you all my various different tools that I use. They cost a little bit of money sometimes, but it's a lot less than going to a therapist on a regular basis once you know what you need to be doing to your body. Okay, just do the other leg. Just supporting my knee with my other hand here, so I'm not buckling my knee in. And then just wriggle it around. Feel where there's those tight spots. If there's any spots in there where it's like, oh, that's sore, well, there's a knot there. There's a trigger. So if you can sink into that particular spot, it'll just relax everything else out. So if you feel like there's a lot of, then you need to do this a bit more rather than just the short little session we're doing here. Okay, let's put our chairs back, sink back down into that position and see, does it feel any different? Do you feel any looser in the ankles? I certainly feel, not that I felt like overly tight in the beginning because I'm quite mobile generally, but yeah, I definitely feel a lot looser than I was because when I started the class, I'd just woken up, got ready, got the kids ready and came straight into class. I hadn't done any movement yet myself. But yeah, my ankles particularly, my hips, they were already fine. I didn't feel any tension there, but my ankles were feeling a little bit tight through here. Now it's feeling a lot looser. Also, just sitting in this position, wriggling around is a really good mobility exercise. Just getting your muscles used to being in this squatting position. And where you feel the pressure, so if I sit in the middle, okay, yeah, I can feel something. But if I feel like, okay, there's a bit of tension there or something, I can sink over to that side and go, yeah, there's where it feels tighter. So I'm going to lean over that tight spot and lean over that other tight spot. Okay. All right. Very short Qigong to finish up. Bit of a different class for you today. Just one last thing I'll say before we do our standing. Never use the phrase, oh, it was just stretching today, or it was just exercise today, or something like that. Never get in your head that doing these simple, stretchy type of things are like less important than your Taiji form or your Qigong or these special Taiji movements. A lot of the time I hear people say things like, oh yeah, it was just general stretching like you find in any class. There's a reason why you get these kind of stretches and mobility things in every class, whether it's karate or Taiji or Bagua or yoga or dancing or whatever it is. There's a reason they all do these same types of exercises because they're the most important thing for your body, particularly for those of us who are coming to something at a slightly later stage in life. And when I say later, I don't mean 70, I mean 30 even, or even 25, depending on what you've done in the past. A lot of these things are not necessary for, small children because they're already fit and healthy. They've got all the mobility, so they can focus on learning movement as opposed to just sitting on the floor and getting their body healthy. But as you get a little bit older, or if you're starting already a bit tight, you just sit there just doing your Taiji form constantly. Yeah, you'll get there eventually, but you'll get there a hell of a lot faster, which is better, by stretching out your body and strengthening your body. Not just stretching, but strengthening and stretching. So let's say, for example, I'm doing my Qigong, but every time I do my Qigong, my feet end up like this. It's turning out. I'll just do more Qigong. Got to practice my Qigong. No. you got to do stretching like we've just done. You got to stretch off those muscles. Again, you know, yeah, doing a Qigong and holding your feet there, it will sort of bit by bit help. But if you've got an acute issue anywhere in your body, you need to focus in on that acute issue. Your standing Qigong, your Taiji form, your Bagua form, they are all full-bodied movements. Physical, internal, stretching, strength, they're everything all together all at once. Whereas if you have an acute issue, you have to do a whole training session based around that acute issue. So this is why you need to learn what's wrong, what needs work with your body. Okay, just a short Qigong, just to center our bodies. Again, just to feel the difference. We're just going to do a few minutes here. Feel the difference again in your lower leg and so on, in your hips. Does it feel any nicer to stand in your Qigong? Because even your Qigong stance, you might find that, oh, my feet are creeping out or something, just like with the squat, because we are still squatting down a little. So come into your Qigong stance and just think about how your feet and ankles and legs feel comparatively to how they normally feel. Do they feel any better by doing those stretches? Slowly let it down. And gently close off the Qigong. Just a quick one. That's the good thing about that type of Qigong. Now, if you did a Qigong like that, you know, what was it, 3 minutes or something, first thing in the morning, you'd probably feel nothing happening from it. But because all the blood's flowing from all the warming up we've been doing, all the muscle moving we've been doing, even just 3 minutes like that, I feel really nice from doing that. It just feels like it's really centered my body. All right. Well, you probably got the email I sent out last night. So I've added a couple of things to our schedule. I have added an instructional Bagua class on Tuesday mornings, 6 a.m. So that will replace the sort of general class that we were doing on that morning. So that's where I'm, just like that I did last week with the small Sansao and the Yang Luchan's form, I'm going to teach you from scratch the Bagua circular form. So anyone who's interested in learning that with the walking, circular walking, anyone who's interested in having a look at that, that'll be Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. UK time as usual. I've also changed Thursday morning classes, still 6 a.m., but that will be a Bagua general training class. Okay, so the Tuesday one is like from scratch, like an instructional class, bit by bit, working through the whole form. Whereas the Thursday morning class will be the same as most of the classes we've been doing, where, you know, we just maybe flow through the Taiji form, do a bit of this, bit of that, and then maybe I'll give you a few hints and tips along the way, that kind of training. But for the Bagua form instead of the Taiji form. That class will always be Bagua circular form. Whereas, of course, the Taiji versions of those general training sessions, sometimes it's the slow form, sometimes it's the small Sansao, sometimes it's more Chigong, these kind of things. I've also added, when are they? Tuesday morning and Saturday morning, general strength and mobility sessions. So it's sort of what we just did there, I would call that a mobility session. I didn't do that much on the strength side of things. So every now and again, even the group, the general training sessions like we've done today, I involve a lot of strength and mobility in these classes. But Tuesday morning and Saturday morning, directly after the main session, so we'll do our 6 to 7 a.m. training session, and then if you've got time to stay with me for an extra 30 minutes, I'm going to be doing strength and mobility. So just all that stuff I've just been talking about, not Taiji form, not Bagua form, none of that kind of stuff, not specific Qigongs, just strength work, opening up the body. But all of those things that I'm doing, like I'm not just going to teach you, I don't know, grab a weight and do some deadlifting or something like that. Not generic exercises. Not that there's anything at all wrong with those. I do practice those as well myself. But the movements I'll be showing you will be a little bit more directly related to how we want our bodies to move for Taiji and Bagua, okay? And all the exercises, as usual, I'll give very easy versions and more difficult versions so you can, see what fits your own body.
Have you time for me to ask one question?
Sure, go for it.
When we would, because I've got a dodgy trick, bad knee, I've been very naughty. I have done pretty much no stretching for maybe the last 3 years, very minimal stretching. When we were doing that one where the legs were curved and you were talking about getting a stretch here, I was absolutely relaxed there, but I was very tight in the inner part.
Yes.
Was I doing it wrong, or was it just that's how my body is at the moment?
No, that's just how your body is. That's usually one of your hip flexors. I've had that issue myself in the past, where I'm rotating the leg in, and it's kind of causing, well, it sounds similar to what I felt one time where I had a little injury. It's sounding like, because it's not necessarily a hip flexor stretch, but because your knee is rotating in that way, the hip flexor runs over there, and it's like you're twisting the hip flexor, and if it's a little bit tight in there, it can kind of get pinched a little bit. And that will then limit and not allow the backside to actually get stretched. So if you're feeling that, I found, again, I can't guarantee that you've got the same thing as me, of course, but it sounds similar. I found for that particular thing, because it was more of a pinching, trapping type of sensation rather than just a tight muscle, I felt, for me, trigger release worked much better than just stretching to get rid of that particular issue.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's since I'm at my mum's, That's Ben and I. I'm the small one. And that's, what is that, me? Oh, that's all of us. So I'm the second smallest. And that the little girl is my sister, the older girl is my cousin, and the bigger boy, that's my brother Ben. Bit of family history there for you while I'm down at my mum's.
Whereabouts are you? Still in
Brecon Beacons.
Oh, right. Oh, lovely area. Oh.
Yeah, really nice. Llangadog. Yeah. All right, guys. Tomorrow morning, what have we got? Tomorrow morning, Monday, 8 a.m. 8 a.m. general training session, Taiji, small sensao, whatever we feel like doing. So hope to see you there. And as I said, I've sent out the full schedule of what's coming in the next few weeks. So double check those to see which classes you want to pop along to, and we'll take it from there. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you soon.
And
Yeah.
thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.